yet? I guess. My name is Erin. I am one of our trainers, and we are setting up to do our 11:30 presentation. Now, the focus of this particular presentation is a training opportunity with one of our young males. It's also a unique opportunity for you guys to see a cheetah in a little bit different setting. So if you guys are standing in front of our cheetah habitat right now, you guys can hear my voice but may not be able to see me. You might notice we do have 3 female cheetahs out on our habitat. That is our adult female social group. Those 3 females will all be turning 8 years old next month. But the presentation that we're going to be doing for this 11:30 time frame will actually be occurring on our guest sidewalk. So if you continue down the path towards the large white clock tower, you'll see a group of us hanging out here. For those of you guys that see me, you know exactly where we are. We are actually going to be bringing one of our cheetahs out onto our guest sidewalk for you guys. So again, this is a training opportunity for him. It's also a great opportunity for you guys to see our cheetahs in a little bit different setting. Now here at Busch Gardens, we do view our animals, in particular our cheetahs, but all of our animals as ambassadors. So they are representative of their cousin. Our goal is, or their wild counterparts, let's go with that one. Our goal is to be able to connect you guys to these animals in unique ways and inspire you to want to care a little bit more about the species or the planet as a whole. And so particularly with our cheetahs, we want to do that by bringing them out on our sidewalk. But we also acknowledge that our guests are not always able to come to our park. We do have some guests that just can't make it here. And so for those guests, we actually have the unique opportunity and privilege to be able to travel with our cheetahs. We've been able to take them to media studios and schools all around the state, being able to reach a little bit broader audience. So the training session that you guys are going to see out here on our sidewalk is something that maintains the behavior so that we are able to take them off property as well. It's also a fun and unique opportunity for our cheetahs to see you guys in a little bit different setting and that kind of stuff. So it will take a couple of minutes for our trainers to make their way out here. We do have to harness up the animals and that kind of stuff, so it does take a few minutes. Plus, I will say, we all think of cheetahs for their speed. They are capable of some incredible speeds. But most importantly, they're just a cat. So they will walk their own pace. So if anybody has a cat at home, you know that your cat does what it wants when it wants. So the same thing happens here. I personally find it very amusing that generally most people walk faster than a cheetah. So there's a little bit of time lag in being able to get our cheetahs out here, but they should be making their way out here momentarily. Again, here in our cheetah area, we do presentations throughout the day. We do have one more additional presentation scheduled for you guys. So if you guys are in the area around 3 o'clock, that will be our final presentation. Now this particular presentation at 11:30 is going to be kind of a low-key, low-energy presentation out here. Our 3 o'clock presentation will hopefully be a little bit more high energy. We're actually going to ask one of our adult female cheetahs to show off the speed, agility, and grace of the cheetah by doing a lure run. Again, another trained behavior that we are able to do with them, but it's kind of a cool way for you guys to see exactly what cheetahs are built to do. So we will be doing that on our main habitat at 3 o'clock. We do have a lure machine similar to what you would find at a greyhound racetrack, or if any of your dogs participate in dog luring. We have that. We can set it up on our habitat. We've actually clocked one of our cheetahs that's currently on the habitat right now at over 64 miles per hour on that habitat alone. So it is pretty impressive to see our cheetahs, and we definitely encourage you guys to, again, come out at 3 o'clock if you guys are in the area and want to check that out as well. For those of you guys that are just joining us, for those of you guys that can hear my voice but may not be able to see us, we are setting up to do a training session with one of our young males out on our sidewalk. So if you guys are walking by the cheetah habitat, we do have 3 female cheetahs out there, but the presentation at 11:30 will be occurring down the pathway. So continue down the left hand, down towards your left, towards the large white clock tower. You'll see a group of us hanging out here. Now here at Busch Gardens, we are home to a total of 8 cheetah. We have 5 females and 3 males. They range in age from 2 to 8. So we have different social groups. Cheetahs are classified as a solitary species. Of course, life is a lot more complicated than that. Cheetahs are typically social with their litter mates and can remain social with their litter mates throughout their life depending on their gender. So we have different social groups here at our park that is their choice to hang out with. So if you guys are walking by throughout the day, you might see different cheetah out on our habitat. Definitely encourage you guys to check that out. Of course, the first question is, how can you actually tell that they're a cheetah? And I won't lie, cheetah are very difficult to tell the difference between them, but they are unique just like you and I are. We actually find that their spot patterns are a very easy way to tell them apart. I personally choose to look at the last 6 to 8 inches of their tail. So if you guys are walking by at different times throughout the day, look at that tail, look at those facial features, take pictures, compare it home. You'll be able to notice that we have different cheetah out here. There's also body size differences, so you might see those from a distance and that kind of stuff as well. Let's see. Again, I will tell you guys, thank you all for your patience. With the joy of training, it does take a little bit of time. We do work in our animal spaces. Here at Busch Gardens, we rely on positive reinforcement training in order to train any and all of our animals. And as our cat comes out here, I can explain to you a little bit more about that. But through positive reinforcement training, we rely on choices. We never force our animal to do anything that they don't want to do. So again, that's where he comes out here when he wants to. And it's completely up to him as to the pace and all of that kind of stuff. Now I have heard the door open, so you will see momentarily. The Tabo will be making his way out here onto our guest sidewalk. Again, for those of you guys that are standing in front of our habitat, if you guys continue down the pathway towards the large white clock tower, you'll see a group of us hanging out here, and momentarily Tabo, as well as a number of his trainers, will be making their way out here. Now, as you guys see Tabo out here, it is important to keep in mind that Tabo is still a wild animal. There's really nothing that separates him from his cousins or counterparts in Africa. The only thing is through positive reinforcement training, he has been able to build strong relationships with specific people. And so he's been able to use that choice-based training to build very strong dynamic relationships. I will tell you that Tabo has made his way out here. However, he's chosen to figure out that there are 3 girls on the habitat. And so right now he is staring at them through the windows. So those of you guys that might be over here next to me might be able to see him. He's decided that those girls aren't going to be of interest now, so he's starting to make his way over here. At 3 years old, Tabo is still, he is considered a young male. He is adult. Cheetahs reach maturity between 2 and 3 years of age, so he is considered a fully mature male, but kind of think of him as like a 25-year-old guy. Is a nice way to put it. So fully mature, but has figured out that he has hormones, and so he does like to check out our female cheetahs. Him and his brother are very interested in our female cheetahs. Are they bred here? That is an excellent question. The simple answer is no. We do participate in breeding. We're able to do that though through working with other facilities. Cheetah breeding and cheetah reproduction is kind of complicated. Females do not typically ovulate in the presence of another cheetah. So in order for us to be able to breed our cheetahs, we actually work with a facility up in northern Florida called White Oak Conservation Center that is set up a little bit better to mimic the natural breeding sequences for cheetahs. And so Tabo here, as well as his brother Tende, are our first second generation of cheetah. So their mom actually lived as part of the female social group that's on the habitat. But a few years ago, we actually sent her up to White Oak to meet some boys, and she did get pregnant, and Tabo and his brother Tende are part of the first litter that were born up there. We actually opted to bring Tabo and his brother Tende down here. When they were just a few weeks old, their mom had a really large litter. It was the first time that she had ever had a litter, so we wanted her to be successful and not overwhelmed with the number of cubs that she had. So we opted to bring him and his brother down here and hand raise them as ambassadors, and then she raised the rest of her litter very successfully. Typically, a female cheetah raises a litter for about 2 years. She did that. Again, Tabo's 3 years old, and she actually recently produced her second litter. So very successful. We are very lucky to be able to work with different organizations to be able to breed our cheetahs, but it is not something we do physically on property. So again, without further ado, this is Tabo. He's made his way out here onto our habitat, or onto our guest sidewalk with a number of his trainers. Again, I mentioned earlier, whenever we're working these and other training behaviors with our cheetahs, as well as all of our animals here at our park, we rely on the science of positive reinforcement training. Positive reinforcement training means that we reward behavior we want to see occur again. By doing this, it increases the frequency of it occurring. We never punish our animals, we never tell them no, bad, or wrong. If they are incorrect, we simply ignore the behavior and move on, and we'll set them up to be successful the next time. So we're rewarding behavior we want to see occur. Now, reward for a cheetah can come in a variety of shapes and forms. What do you think is the most reinforcing thing we can offer a cheetah? Food, exactly. What kind of food does a cheetah eat? Meat, exactly. So we can't offer our cheetahs meat treats as a way of telling them good job. But a very common misconception in the training world is that you actually have to withhold food in order to get your animals to do things. That is not the case. I will tell you, we would not be out here with 100-pound carnivore if we had to withhold food. It would not go well. So that means that as trainers, our job is to figure out what else our animals enjoy. And there's a variety of different things, and it varies by individual. Just like you and I are different, our cats are as well. We have found that with Tabo and his brother Tende, they really enjoy drinking out of a squirt bottle. So you might see Cherish pull that out. Kind of think of it as a 3-year-old drinking out of a juice box. It's just amazing to drink out of the straw, that kind of thing. We have figured out the same thing with Tabo and his brother Tende. They will do entire training sessions just for that squirt bottle. The one caveat that we have actually found with the squirt bottle is that they prefer whatever's in there to be hot. Coffee temperature hot. We can put hot water, hot broth, chicken broth, beef broth, blood juices. It doesn't really matter what's in there as long as it's nice and coffee temperature hot. Even in the dead of summer, they want hot water. Go figure. But it's like a 3-year-old drinking out of juice. So these guys really seem to enjoy it. We can also find something that often get overlooked. Actually, that green box is a reinforcer. So Tabo is very cool is doing it. It's a very natural behavior for a cheetah to want to get on an elevated surface or platform. If you think about it, Tabo here is a full-grown adult male. These are not the largest predators in Africa. They do have to deal with predation issues, and a great way to see if there's predators around, as well as watch the prey herds move, is to get up on an elevated rock outcropping or maybe the crook of a tree. So it's very natural for cheetahs to want to get on that elevated surface. That box is one way that we can provide that to him, and he seems to enjoy doing that. I will say it looks like he's always watching you guys, but chances are he's actually watching beyond you guys and watching the external environment out there. It's a great view for doing that. Some other reinforcers that you might watch out here, we can offer tactile or touch. Just like you and I, some of our cheetahs are more touchy-feely than others. But as trainers, we figure out if our animals like tactile, and particularly where they might like tactile. And if they do, we can utilize that. So Tabo typically likes to be scratched around his ears, under his chin. So you might see Cherish offering that a little bit as well. Different forms of reinforcers, all just telling our animal that they're doing a good job, encouraging that behavior to occur more frequently. Again, it's completely choice-based, so if Tabo didn't want to be out here, that is perfectly fine. You will notice, though, that there is a lot of trainers involved in this. Again, Tabo is still a wild animal. He's still a 100-pound carnivore. There's a lot of safety that we have to follow. So out here, we have a number of trainers. Cherish is Tabo's primary trainer. So she is the one that is giving him direction, asking him to do different things. He is the kind of point person that Tabo's going to be looking at for instruction. Also joined by Cherish is Shelly. Shelly is also attached to Tabo via leash, so we have 2 leashes. But Shelly's job is to just kind of be Cherish's spotter and second person. God forbid something happened to Cherish, she gets hot, faint, something like that. We do have a second trainer out here to help out. And then we have Sarah as well. Sarah is going to be a spotter. She's kind of the one observing all of you guys, communicating whatever she needs to Cherish, so that Cherish can focus on the cat. So there's a variety of different things, and then of course I'm out here watching all of you guys, watching the environment, things like that, as well as communicating to you guys. So there's a variety of trainers out here. The reason that I want to point that up is that this is an endangered species, and sadly one of the big problems that cheetah are facing right now is the illegal pet trade. There are a variety of different animals all around the world that are viewed as status symbols and things like that. In the Middle East, cheetahs are viewed as a status symbol, and they're being taken out of the wild in order to supply that pet trade. But as much as we make this job look easy and cool, the cheetahs on a leash, that kind of stuff, we want you guys to realize that it takes a whole team to be able to do this. We have a team of 9 trainers working with our cheetahs every single day to be able to do this and do it in a safe way. We also are lucky enough here at Busch Gardens to have our own animal care center or vet hospital on property. If you guys haven't checked it out, I encourage you guys to do that. You guys can see everything that is going on up at our hospital at any time. We also are lucky enough to have our own vet staff on property, so we have 5 veterinarians that take care of us. Our cheetah even has his own nutritionist. So somebody that looks at him as an individual as well as him as a species to figure out what exactly he needs to get so that we can maintain that best possible quality of life. Now, I have given you guys a lot of information. You have a question? Good observation. So the question was, the observation was that every time Cherish offers Tabo food, she's actually touching the back of her, Tabo is touching the back of Cherish's hand, and then Cherish offers food. Why do we do that? That is something that we've actually worked out with Tabo and his brother Tende, and it's kind of like table manners. So and we're offering our hand to a carnivore. So we want to make sure that we're going to do it in a way where we're not setting ourselves up to accidentally or purposely be injured. And so one way that we've found is to be able to communicate to Tabo that we have food is by doing that. The other thing about cheetahs is they're built for running, and one of the adaptations for that is they can see incredibly far away. But as a side note, they can't really see very close. So right in front of their face, we've noticed seems to be a little bit blurred. So by offering our fist and having him touch the back of our hand first, that allows him to know where the food source is so that he's not blindly opening up his mouth and lunching for different things. So it just kind of helps us to communicate with him that food is coming and you don't have to rush for it, things like that. Now I have talked a lot out here, but we've actually recently started playing a game out here on our Cheetah area, and I want to see if you guys are interested in doing it. What we will do is kind of do a question and answer, except I get to ask questions and you guys get to ask the answer it. If you guys want to play and are successful, we'll actually have Sarah borrow your phone, and we'll be able to get a nice up-close picture of Tabo out here, sorry. And you guys can kind of get a picture of the opportunity for participating in our game. So if you guys are interested in doing it, we can go ahead and get started. So anybody want to try a question and answer? Anybody brave? Yes. So, question. What form of training? How do we train our animals here? Awesome. Yes, it is all positive reinforcement. So Sarah can take your camera if you guys want to. So does anybody else? Yes. What is one type of reinforcer that we can use to tell Tende he's doing a good job? Yes, exactly. The warm water bottle. Yes. So now it's the question that I've already discussed in the white shirt. Let's ask a little bit harder questions. You guys all know that cheetahs are fast. Let's start thinking about fast. But then we have another question, or answer question.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, is the gray cat. All our kids over there too. So if we're looking at Tende and Tabo, do you know how fast can a cheetah run? Yes, we have actually our cheetahs on the habitat at 64 miles per hour. So Sarah can actually take a photo for you guys. For those of you guys that are getting excellent photos, whether it's via Sarah or just you guys' own photos, we encourage you guys to post them on social media. Here we're not really able to take our own pictures, but we know that our guests can take amazing footage. So if you guys share them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any of those social media platforms, it's a great way for us to see all of the amazing opportunities you guys have with our animals and get great photos that way. So we definitely encourage you guys to do that. All right, harder question. I haven't actually talked about it yet. Does anybody want to try it? It's going to be about speed, about cheetah speed. They do go 65. You want to try a question? Okay, so looking here at Tabo, what do you think helps him run fast? You know it. I know you do. His tail, exactly. Yes, his tail does help him run fast. It is one adaptation that he has. It helps him with steering. Does anybody think of another adaptation that might help him with speed?
Sorry, that's one of the ways I help.
Huh? His legs, exactly. Yeah, he's got very long legs in proportion to his body. And those help him to achieve incredible stride lengths. So definitely another thing. So Sarah, our girl in the flower sweater or shirt. There you go. All right, one more. We'll do one more picture. Can anybody think of one more adaptation that we haven't talked about that helps a cheetah with speed? Yes. Their toenails, exactly. Cheetahs have semi-retractable claws. Cherish has been showing that off a little bit for you guys. There we go. We got one more coming here. Those semi-retractable claws pretty much act like soccer cleats. There you go. And those do help them with traction when they're running. So these animals are incredibly fast. They're built for speed. Everything about their body has been heavily adapted to be able to achieve top speed. And again, if you guys are interested, at 3 o'clock we are going to be showing off the speed agility of the cheetah out on our main habitat. And that's an excellent opportunity for you guys to check that out.
Something over there.
Now, as amazing as these animals are, the reason that we want to have them here is for conservation purposes. As I
kid on the shoulder.
We're lucky enough to be able to breed our cheetahs, so we're helping to maintain the population in zoos. As the wild populations continue to decrease, that becomes more and more important. Tabo has figured out something's fun to watch right now. But we're also doing a lot of other conservation efforts. Did you guys know that by coming here to Busch Gardens, you guys are actually helping us support conservation? Here at Busch Gardens, we have the SeaWorld and Busch Gardens Conservation Fund. It donates millions of dollars each year to be able to donate to different conservation organizations that we support with cheetahs, or the Cheetah Conservation Fund Outreach Trust. So just by coming here today, you guys are helping us support those conservation organizations. Now Tabo is going to head behind the scenes. Go ahead and head back there. If you guys have any questions, I can hang out here and answer